I would say the number one thing you could do from my perspective is to just try. If you're really struggling, to try. One of the things that is a huge tell for AI is these goofy, and they are goofy. Every LinkedIn post now has like 40 emojis and it's one sentence. It doesn't sound like you. We all know it's AI, and truthfully, I skip them. Now, other people might not, but I skip them. One of the things that I think everybody could do right now to get their feet wet is start building out a skill. So figure out what a skill is, and then start building a skill that writes like you, and then relentlessly update it.
I feel like that opening line for every one of them is, "This changes everything." I have never had an account or something hacked because of my poor password choices and my poor, programming choices at home. But I get a letter from Citibank or Chase or Bank of America. And so, let's just take this with a grain of salt that if you follow all the rules and you work for great big corporate Fortune 50, that's not a guarantee of success and safety. And in fact, that 10 million row, that got leaked out of Bank of America or one of the other banks, just name them, right? They've all had it happen, is probably a worse problem than you may have tomorrow with the 5-store franchise.
We've been talking a lot about the technical problems and risk in, having rogue technology out in the enterprise. But is it really a technology problem, or is it a really boring human problem where people just need to talk cross-functionally and partner more?
There's a little bit of that, right? I mean, and share what they're doing with each other.
Right.
I mean,
right. That's where I'm coming down on it. I'm hearing all of these different things about technical this and that and the other. But the fact of the matter is when we talked about training up front, I mean, like, we trained on Outlook, we trained on Excel, like, we had to seed this stuff in. And I have not seen in a lot of mid-size and smaller companies a ton of training around these AI tools. Maybe that's because they're moving so much quicker than, the pace and the things that you can do with them. And they're also more intuitive than Outlook. You have to know to click a button here and go here and then update this and set your settings this way, install a signature, all that stuff was brand new. Nobody knew how to do it. Some people still don't know how to do it today. Now this is as easy as a Google prompt, and you can go very simple. It's a chat box. Yeah. And you type in it at its basic. Now they keep adding things onto it, but so to me, it's like, it's a human issue. Like, we've got to start talking with each other.
Well, and part of that talking with each other, I think, if folks are using the tools, they need to start sharing their wins with each other.
Oh, yeah. I mean, knowledge hoarding.
They're knowledge, and maybe they're not, maybe they are, maybe they're hoarding it. Maybe they're just inadvertently not realizing how difficult the leap is from, I don't understand what is possible. And, and we keep saying, like, it's on YouTube, it's on TikTok. The hype side of it makes this sometimes feel like a toy. And so, but when you show people what is possible, and then they go away for a little bit, and if you have the enough relationship and social capital with each other to and the respect of each other to push each other a little bit to work on this. I was leading a workshop yesterday in Atlanta for a half day, doing kind of a product design activity with a gentleman who's got a retail set of stores, and one of the things, we took a little bit of an aside for 30 minutes to kind of take a break, and I had my computer up, and one of the pain points he had pointed out was that the existing platforms that their industry had and the tools that he uses, updating product descriptions for his e-com site, right? So you think, here's a product. What is the description that the customer sees about that product? There was no vertical integration with the suppliers, so there was no way to just pull in the product image and the wholesaler or the manufacturer's product description. So they have to type them themselves. And the tool that they had does not have a bulk import feature. So there was no way to just do them all at once and upload them. Right. I mean, like I've only told you that much, right? And you and I both know how to solve this problem.
Oh yeah. I mean, my brain already
right.
lit up.
You already solved the problem. You and I both know how to solve this problem. And so sitting down with him and asking him to bring up his tool and saying, let's just take 5 minutes, right? Let's take this out of here. Let's show you that you could take your product catalog, dump that over here to, ChatGPT, Claude, whoever you're using, right? And say, my name is blah. This is my industry. This is the kind of, vibe that I want for my, products to, this is how I write product descriptions. Here's 6 of my existing product descriptions. Here's 5 new products. Write descriptions for them. I want them to be under 180 words. It's for, marketing. It's for a website. Go, right? 30 seconds later, he's got 5. And I'm like, great. Your assignment this weekend is to get an export of your products, dump them all in. Once you're happy with what your prompt, that it's, building what you want, and it'll do it in a spreadsheet, and it'll give you all 3,000 of your products. And he adds, 20 to 50 a week. And I'm like, fantastic. Then you're going to use one of these tools that lets you do computer use on your browser, and you're going to give it 3, and you're going to ask it to learn how to use your website to go click on edit, open the product, paste in the description. And this guy who, this operator, right? Owner operator for, a couple of stores, he's spending 2 to 4 hours a week doing this task.
That's amazing. I mean, like that's so much time wasted. Does he have an API route to his website?
He does not.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. But what I told him, and let's talk a little nerdy here for a second, is when you use these tools to try to automate things like Claude or Manus or whatever, the ones that can agentically go to a website, often they figure out that there is an API. It's hidden. It's under the page because the page is interacting with an API. And so when you ask it to do some level of automation, it can often figure that out. And so it's not going to do a whole bunch of page clicks. It's just going to figure out what the domain says about the buttons that get pushed, and it's just going to inject it, and it'll do the transaction as if you had clicked the buttons. It was actually one of the more impressive things that I saw. Like an AI did that for me. Manus did that for me on a project. And it felt like an emergent kind of thing. Like I asked it to go click through. It came back and said, hey, Veer, I figured out that I don't need to work that hard. I can just do it like that. Is that okay? I'm like, that is absolutely okay for what I'm asking you to do.
Yeah, I've had that same aha moment. And it's funny. As you were talking, like literally at the beginning of you talking about that, my command prompt popped up for the task that I have scheduled to run every hour that uses that same API on a web page scraper to go get the most real-time data. So it was just, man, that's the geekiest thing that we're going to get excited about all day long.
It is. It's a fun, geeky thing we wouldn't have run across it if we hadn't been curious, right? We keep saying that word, I think, often about like the curiosity drove us to look for solutions. The solutions surprised us by, in fact, I had a guy I worked with, he I don't know, it's a little flowery, but he would say that that's an elegant solution.
Yeah, it is, because right? It's simple. It doesn't need to be any harder than that. That's not flowery. That's not flowery. That's pretty typical IT code, developing.
Yeah.
Developer speak.
It's an elegant solution to a problem that has 7 different solutions, and some of them are inelegant.
You learn over time. I would say the last thing I'll say about this is you learn over time too, coming from my perspective, finance guy who has stayed curious and been on the front side of this since it came out, right? So 2 years of experience is why I can have this conversation and even hang with you, because I'm that deep. But it's taught me what elegant is and isn't. And I find myself now able to push back just by sticking with it. But it takes a long time to get there. And people don't, people see 2 years of experience and they go, well, I'm never going to get there. So what else can I do in life? Because I can't catch up. I don't think that's true. There's some things that you could walk away from here today and start doing. And I think you have a couple, I have a couple. And I think we should just let's tee up like maybe 3 or 4. When you stop listening to this, just immediately go and start working on these things, and that's going to help you along your AI learning journey.
I mean, I think so. Like this example for this gentleman, it was you need to find something that you do every day, every week, every day, every month that chews up and a bunch of your time, and it's a bunch of button clicking, and you have to be a little honest with yourself about that might be a satisfying piece of your month because of the certainty and the deterministic value of what you're doing. Like, I don't have a lot of control in my life, but this I can control, and I can do these 5 steps. I get it, but you could be doing something better with that hour, 2 hours, 4 hours of your time. And, if you'll invest 4 hours, 2 hours into solving your problem, right? This again, the old lessons are the best lessons. This is you learning how to fish.
Yeah. I would say the number one thing you could do from my perspective is to just try. If you're really struggling, to try. One of the things that is a huge tell for AI is these goofy, and they are goofy. Every LinkedIn post now has like 40 emojis, and it's one sentence, a paragraph, space, whatever that's called. I'm not a writer, but there's a space, another sentence. Everything is it doesn't sound like you. We all know it's AI, and truthfully, I skip them. Now, other people might not, but I skip them. One of the things that I think everybody could do right now to get their feet wet is start building out a skill. So figure out what a skill is, and then start building a skill that writes like you, and then relentlessly update it. You're going to get much higher quality content. And we all know you're doing the thinking behind the AI for the most part. Right? You're not just letting AI think for you. You wouldn't be where you are in life as an executive or director or VP at a company. So don't in today's world, maybe it'll be more acceptable later, but right now, people don't take you as seriously if you write in AI and it sounds like AI.
I think where we're heading towards is, I had a friend ask the other day, because I sent him an email, and he was like, I can't tell. It was, what was written by AI? What part was written by you? And I was like, well, good. The system is learning. And second, I wrote that. I just asked AI to polish it so that I didn't waste 10 minutes doing paragraph lines, capitalization, commas, shortening it for you. I gave it an output and it polished it for me. And what we don't want, and I think what you're saying is you don't want that polish to feel mathematical.
No, and it does feel mathematical when every sentence ends in a 3-comma list. You know, that doesn't sound like you. When you're using emojis, when everything's bold, I mean, like, this is all stuff everybody knows at this point. I pretty much, but there's a way to get around it. And that way, and what I would suggest as you leave this today, one of the first ways to really start getting more comfortable and understanding that AI can help you is to make it sound like you. Like, that's a tangible, go learn how to build a skill in Claude or Codex or whatever it is, and then use that skill across all the AI that you use, because they're portable. They're files that you can take anywhere.
So the starting point is walk away from the podcast and try to put something together. And when we say try, I mean, you can ask the AI to help you. Like, hey, I'd like to write my personal voice skill. Interview me. Ask me some questions. If you do write a lot of stuff, you can take your output from your emails that you've written that you like, or if you've got a couple of documents you've prepared, give it to it, let it analyze your writing style.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is 5 minutes worth of work is what we're trying to, kind of get at, is don't let Jim and Veer gave you a project, dissuade you from just taking some baby steps here, because the plus here, and I think, folks, you need to start embracing is, if you're shooting for 100% and perfection is crippling you from moving, making your writing 50% better is a big win.
Yeah.
Right?
Especially, I mean, like, think about people with English as a second language.
People that, right? I mean, and so just that jump, right? Don't discount, don't fall into this, 80-20 stuff. 20 would be great in this case, because it's getting you one step function higher, and you'll learn through the process of doing these steps of just building a small skill that you can further enhance as you go along.
Yeah. We're not asking you to become an engineer, but you do need to start, or you do need to stop treating AI like it's someone else's job, because it's not. It's an operating system. It's a way of working.
That's one. That's a great example of something you can take away. Go do it right now. You can take an example of a task that you do many times in a week and try to figure out a way to have AI help you in writing marketing copy. I'm not trying to take the job away from marketers. That's not the point. What we're saying here is, I sat in a room with an owner operator. That's his job. He is not going to go hire a marketer. He is either going to sit with his hands on keyboard and, crank through 80 items every week, or he's going to get some help from a tool, and he can teach that tool to write like him.
Or write like the brand.
Or write like the brand. Yeah, exactly.
That's, put it in the brand's voice. I'm not the brand. The brand doesn't talk like that. We have a brand voice. Here are the last 20 years of copy that we've handwritten. And you can see the evolution. Stay more true to the last 18 months and look for nuggets of authenticity that go back all the way to 1980 when we just started. And that's your brand voice. And here's 50 examples.
Yeah.
And the examples really help. But I'm not trying to get too detailed on how to write brand voice, but you're exactly right. That's what you have to do. And that's an easy, like, introductory step.
It's one that takes you one step beyond asking it questions and treating it like an evolution of Google. and search, right? Where now you're asking it to build you something that is reusable over time, that is going to enhance your utilization of the tool. And it's a straightforward way to do it.
Yeah, it is. It's and so hopefully we've been able to kind of bring a few new ideas and then leave you with something tangible to walk away with. Our goal is always to try to demystify some of this and then to drive more of this AI by default mindset into your workplace.
Yeah. And we'll talk more in the future about the fact that the skills, the abilities, your time spent, it compounds, right? I mean, just like any kind of like natural law of, exercise and execution, the more you do, the more you're going to see, the better you're going to get. Not just in your small life, but this is the stuff that does get brought in, and we talk about doing as a team, IT and finance working together hand in hand to see a company execute on its purpose and vision and mission, instead of being in a place where we're fighting against each other for dominance and control.
Yeah, and make mistakes. Go try something. Bottom line, go try something, make some mistakes. Hopefully not too many mistakes with people, but make some mistakes, get some wins, some quick wins, always thinking quick wins. If you screw up, you learn something. Don't screw up the big things, but take little measured risks, and that's how you're going to get better.
I think we have we've spent enough time converting oxygen for this discussion today, but hopefully we got some takeaways. Follow along with us on LinkedIn and on YouTube and wherever else you subscribe for podcasts, and look for things that we're writing. You can always contact us and ask us questions. Jim and I are always happy to come out and chat with folks too, if we're spending time helping companies understand the application of this at a executive level. And so we're always happy to have those conversations as well.
Yeah, and please comment if you heard something that you agreed or disagreed with. We'd love to hear from you right here in the socials, because that helps us get better, and then we also just enjoy the conversation, obviously.
So, well, it's been a good day, Jim.
All right, man. Stay curious.
Stay curious, people.